And you delve into the papers. We'll be starting off with Vanguard, and Vanguard is leading with PDP. IU blows hot, says calls on him to quit childish. The writer says maintains I'm not bothered by the noise. Wike's attack on article PDP deliberates. That's come from a source. Insists IU must resign for peace to reign. Mass exodus from APC, evidence of imminent collapse. That's coming from PDP. No deal between Atiku Obi. That's coming from Okupe. You can see a photo story showing Bishop Kuka at 70. Kuka, we must be vigilant to save Nigeria's democracy in 2023, says Jonathan. Northern governors order celebrate Bishop Kuka at 70. You can see that story on page 8 and 34. On page 8, still flight suspension. Emirates in U-turn resumes operation in Nigeria. Access Bank leading sustainable banking in Nigeria, DMD. That's you can see that on page 7. In US, Peter Obi vows to increase electricity or leave presidency. Stories above. Air Marshal Amal at NIPSS lecture seeks federal government intervention to end aviation fuel scarcity. We don't abduct, terrorize citizens. DSS refutes AI's report. You can see that on page 8. Akeredolu Okowa at dagger drawn over pipe surveillance contract. You can see that on page 7. APC presidential aspirants meeting council over lack of interest. NANS to state varsities resume work. Your decision to join strike unpatriotic. All right, let's take a look at the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian is leading with I won't step down. IU speaks as PDP crisis gets messier. The writer says that those calling for my resignation are children. Court adjourns Wike suit against Atiku PDP to September 14. Obi didn't strike deal with Atiku, says Okupe. Omokri Ajeyo drew slam Tinubu over visit to Jonathan. Tinubu's visit shows no ideological difference on politics, says Farobi. Stories above on page 2. Be vigilant. Nigeria sliding into dictatorship. Jonathan warns. Akeredolu orders North federal government over pipeline protection contracts to individuals. Gafaru, Lagos streets burdened by erosion. A report exposes how multinational tobacco companies aid illicit financial flow in Nigeria. Others, Oshibajo leads energy mission to US meets Kamala Harris World Bank Group on page 3. ABC chieftain raps Wiki over recent political activities. All right, let's take a look at the Nation newspaper. The Nation is leading with PDP crisis. IU hits Wiki, Otto, Makinde, Ikpeazu. The writer says they were nowhere when we formed PDP. Rivers governor demands state stake in party. Mimiko Duke Adoke Ghana accused of fueling crisis. NWC to meet Benue, Oyo, Enugu, Abia, Akwa Ibom governors. We can also see aviation fuel price hike may affect our operation. Cas Amail wants says seek import license depot establishment. Also on page 29, 2035 fossil fuel deadline will hurt economy, says man. Stories above. We have EFCC probing Zamfara governor for alleged money laundering. Akeredolu accuses federal government of bias in Tombolo's pipeline contract. Buhari governors Kalu orders Greek cooker at 70. Lagos Okada ban phase 2 enforcement kicks off. All right, let's take a look at the Punch newspaper. The Punch is leading with 2023 poll. APC presidential aspirant Sean Abuja meeting. The writer says that APC presidential primary contestant should not be ignored, says aspirant. Tinubu Shetima unaware of meeting, says a campaign team. Osibajo jet out to US. We can also see Kuka at 70. Nigeria derailing needs right leader, says Jonathan. EFCC arrests 13 illegal miners, impound 5 trucks. Nigeria records a 1.7 million rights violation. Children worst hit. You can see that on page 41. 32 states failed to attract investment in quarter 2. Stories above. I won't allow anyone destabilize PDP. That's coming from IU. A $265 million Emirates makes U-turn to resume flights. Name terrorism sponsors, oil thieves, Obi tells the federal government. Strike also welcomes governor's intervention, wants sincerity. Last year on the front page of the Punch newspaper, banks' assets rise by 22%, now 65 trillion naira. And that's all we can take on the front pages of the papers. Join us. Be right back. All right, welcome back. And we're just joining you today in the news of Angle Life. I am Precious Chukudi. Joining me to talk about some of the stories on the front pages of our papers this morning is Dr. Tayo Batero. He's a journalist and former head Department of Mass Communication, UniJournals. Good morning, sir. It's good to have you join me this morning.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's delve into the papers, and we're starting off with yes. We're starting off with still on the PDP crisis. There seems to be a report that there are mixed signals, emanating from Wiki over crisis in the party, and that these signals are actually very deliberate. What's your take on it?
Party politicking about interests, and everybody will be pursuing their interest. So once those interests are met, they'll continue to agitate or use that force. There are to be differences, there are bound to be interests, but agreeing to make necessary sacrifices for the teams. And from what is happening, it seems that they have not been able to do that. The national chairman was saying it shows that he's so not happy with if anything is not able to reconcile, not speak well of the party at all, and it's likely to affect their chances unless they are able to solve these issues so that they can go into the electioneering in a formidable manner. So it is a serious thing for the party, and it is in their interest to try and resolve it.
All right. Do you think that although some of the members of the party they are saying that Ayu should resign for peace to reign, do you think that he should, even although we also heard that if Ayu, according to the party's constitution, if he steps down, whoever his successor is going to be would have to come from the same geopolitical zone as him?
Well, the problem started from when they restrict to hold the party's constitution, because by the arrangement, if the national from a section of the country, the presidential candidate is supposed to come from the other country. And so, as Ayu in his statement, yes, he was duly elected, and yes, he was right, because by virtue of the arrangement, if the former national chairman was from go to the north this time around, but where the issue became confusing was because they now allowed people from the northern part of the country to contest for the presidential ticket, and it was paid by article. Which now means that both the national chairman and the presidential candidate are from a section of the country which is against the party's constitution, and that is why. Since they cannot ask the presidential candidate to step down, the only option is to ask the national chairman to concede the seat to the South, so that that balancing will be maintained. But of course, he has his own need too, and that's why he's saying that he was doing dead and nobody would to remove him. So they need to work hard, like I said, to be able to reconcile all these divides and to just their chance.
All right, what is going on in the party? This unending crisis. Do you think this is going to affect the party's electoral fortunes in come 2023 elections?
Definitely, because they are facing a party. They are not a party in government. They are in opposition, and so for a party in opposition to win an election, they will really work hard. For us to be seeing this kind of in this division is already saying able to report this issue. Definitely, the election will be a pipe dream because they need all hands on deck to be able to understand a sitting party, which is the APC. So definitely, they need to work to resolve all those differences so that everybody will be on board and on the same page to work for the party's victory. Otherwise, they are not going to be able to dodge the team government.
Oh, unfortunately, we lost our guest to bad internet connection. But let's move ahead and talk about this story. And it's about DSS saying we refuting the IAI's report saying that we don't abduct terrorize citizens. Now, according to the Department of State Services, they have said that they do not engage in abducting or terrorizing Nigerians, but rather they seek measures to protect Nigerians at all times. And the agency was reacting to reports credited to Amnesty International to the effect that the DSS under the present administration abduct innocent Nigerian citizens. Now, the statement said that the attention of the Department of State Services, DSS, has been drawn to a false publication. And according to that statement, it says that SSS abduct innocent Nigerians under Buhari's regime. Whether and this report has gone on, but then the GSS has also refuted such claims by the report. All right, let's move ahead and then talk about Okada ban. Okada ban. If you're a Lagosian right now, I'm sure you'll be feeling it by now. The fact that when you walk on the streets, the streets are empty with no bikes at all. Somehow it gives Lagos a different look because I mean, if you before you're trying to walk on one lane, you probably see a bike coming from behind or by your side or wherever, and that would have been it. But then the Okada ban has commenced today. The Okada ban in four different local governments started today. Four different local government added to the local government before. The Lagos state government has insisted that there is no going back on the ban of commercial motorcyclists, and they have said that riders and passengers risk 3 years jail term for violation. Now, the Lagos State, the four additional councils and six LDAs, affected now is Koshofel LGA, Ikosi Sherry LCDA, Agboike to LCDA, Oshodi Solo LGA, Isolo LCDA, Ejigbo Shomolu LGA, Bariga LCDA, and Mushin LGA, Odioluwo LCDA. And they have said that you know they've said that they want total compliance, and that they've extended the ban on Okada operation to these following local governments and LCDAs to further promote and ensure the safety and security of lives and properties in the state. Now, according to them, they said that they have made viable means of transportation to citizens. They said that they have made alternatives and sustainable means of transportation such as first and last mile bus transport scheme, the BRT scheme, the Lagos EU hailing taxi scheme, the lag ride. If you've been noticing, you must have been seeing the vehicles around Lagos and other acceptable modes of transportation to go about their daily activities. Also, they said they have, for the riders, they have made existing interventions aimed at empowering citizens as an alternative means of livelihood. But then the question is that really, do these existing schemes, do they exist for the Okada riders? Because we all know that we keep hearing, oh, there are other intervention plans for these people and all of that. And there's a lot of fears with this Okada ban. Yes, I know we've complained about how these guys are not, they don't stay on their lane. They're always entering vehicles, causing, most of the accidents that you get to see here in Lagos are actually caused by these Okada riders, and I must tell you so. But then again, the question is, what intervention plan is the government making for these guys? As much as the government has said so, it's one thing to say something, it's another thing to follow it through, because these are people who their means of they do not know how. Most of them do not even have another viable means of livelihood. And how is the government ensuring that they follow through with these intervention plans that they have said that they've created for these people? How are they ensuring that these people are actually part of the plan? Another fears again that some of us would have is that this would cause, the level of insecurity to increase here in Lagos. You can't walk on your own again. You might be nabbed by people who are angry at the system or frustrated at the system that that has taken away their means of livelihood. I mean, I remember going home and at the time I was working, I saw how like extremely bad, like Okada riders or whatnot. So people, and another thing again that we also need to talk about is there's some areas in Lagos that once the bus stops you at your bus stop, these places are like extremely far inside, and so citizens will always want to, because they are really very far to walk into. What is the government doing about it? Because BRT can't take those risks, and even the keke maras and whatnot, they don't go to every street. For example, I'm going to one street and I have somebody who is in the same keke has been going to another street. How is the driver going to navigate dropping this person and then coming to drop me? It's a lot of things that I don't know how we're going to really cope, sha, but we'll find a way, I'm guessing. Let's talk about another story, and this one is from NANS speaking to state varsities, and they're saying, resume work, your decision to join strike unpatriotic. Now, the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, has faulted the decision of state universities to join the ongoing strike by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU. Now, to this end, the leadership of the Nigerian student body, which labeled the action of lecturers of public universities in Nigeria as unpatriotic and wicked, asked those of state universities to immediately detach from the action and resume work. Now, according to the president of NANS, he says, in a statement, that ASU has lost the support of Nigerian students given the unpatriotic disposition displayed by them in extending their strike indefinitely. Ashifon said that students would no longer support the union's call for intervention as they accused the body of being self-serving. Ashifon alleged that the decision to extend the industrial action after 6 months was easy for ASU because they keep employment at various private universities across the country. And also, what for the answer strike, we're just, we're tired. Like, I'm sure parents are tired, students are tired. We do not know. Again, I feel the pain of ASU, and I also feel the pain of Nigerian students, and the federal government. I don't know if I say I feel federal government's pain too, but then again, I mean, this is another academic year looking like it's gone. For the Nigerian students, what exactly have they done to deserve this? To hear that this is a long-standing claim of something that's, of ASU's demand since 2012 up to now. And to an extent, there are different factions of people who are saying that, let ASU just, continue this strike and resolve this once and for all. So we do not have another strike coming in the future. But then it's Nigeria. It's the country we live in. Are we saying that we do not know what exactly goes on in this country? That there's tendencies for the government to promise and then later renege on those promises and make these people come back again for another strike again. Also for the students, it doesn't leave them with so much opportunities in terms of where they see their other counterparts in private universities, or the ones who have traveled out of the country and they're doing well and they've moved ahead of them. It makes them feel like they don't trust in the education sector again. That's why you keep hearing words like school and scam, because they feel like what is the worth of having your education here in Nigeria? What is the worth of a Nigerian student's life in Nigeria? Where the system is rigged against you, meant to just make you feel hopeless, rejected, desperate. And we are hoping that, the bodies in charge would definitely come to the round table and, resolve this. Yeah, the other day I was reading the papers where some parents were saying that it is only by divine intervention that's where we are going to get this matter resolved. But then again, we're hoping that, the matter will be resolved, because I'm looking at it, we're already in the Umba month, like we always call it. Are we saying that the matter is going to be resolved in this month, or are the students going to be looking forward to another session entirely? Because this is looking like this entire session is already gone. we hope the government to do the right thing at the right time. But let's then take a look at Mr. and Mrs. today. Mr. and Mrs. They seem to always, wow us with a lot of things. Let's see who is speaking today. And Mr. is speaking. It says the third bag of rice in 2 months is about to finish. Are there some spirits in this house consuming food at such an alarming speed? And Mrs. says yes, two big spirits created by ASU strikes actions. By the look of things, they're going to be here for a long time. The strike is now indefinite. Speaks of what I was just talking about not too long, of course food will finish. I mean, there's this thing about, you being at home, not having anything to do, you tend to eat a lot. And again, there was a report that was, that at the start of this week where I was saying that a lot of people are beginning to cut down on their eating habit because of inflation and whatnot. But then again, when you have students at home who do not have a job or do not have anything that they are doing at this point in time, they can't go to school and everything. The next thing to resort to is to eat. So I understand what Mrs. is going through. I mean, my 2 bag of rice in less than 2 months finished already. Can be a whole lot on your pocket. All right, that's all we can take on the, today in the news this morning. Remember that for you to find out up to date stories, you can go to our social media pages that are showing on your screen: YouTube, Instagram, also Facebook, Twitter is showing on your screen. You want to find out up to date stories, you can go to our website www.vanguardngl.com to find out more. I am Precious Chukudi. Thank you for watching. Have a